Hi, this is Brahmnadu. Today we'll see what are the light cycle hooks in Lightning Web Components. Okay, so we have 6 callbacks in Lightning Web Components. Okay, so constructor, connector callback, disconnector callback, a render, unrendered callback, and the last one is error, error, and stack. Okay, so constructor. So when it will be created, it fires whenever a component instance is created in Salesforce Lightning Web Component. Okay, the constructor will flow from parent to child. Okay, so let's assume that you have created 2 components. Okay, the first component is child component and the second component is parent component. What you are doing is, right, so we are including the child component in the parent component, right, and in the both components you have written a constructor, right. So then the flow will start from parent to child. Okay, so parent to child, it means that, right, so whatever the statements you will write in the parent constructor, that will get executed first. Later on, right, so the child component constructor will get executed. Okay, the first statement must be super in the constructor with the no parameters. Okay, so can we define, so first we will see these questions and later on we'll try to write the code related to the constructor. Can we define a variable in the constructor? Yes, we can define a variable and we can set the value also in the constructor. Okay, can we access the elements in the constructor? No, we can't access the elements in the constructor. When you try to do that, you will get an error from a Salesforce. Okay, so can we load a data in the constructor? Yes, we can able to display the data from the constructor. Can you create a dispatch event in the constructor? No, we will not able to do that. When you try to do that, you will get an error from Salesforce. Can you create a multiple constructors in the JS file? No, we will not able to do that. When you try to do that, you will get an error. Okay, so here, okay, so this is a child component, right? So in the child component I have written a constructor, right? So this is a constructor and the first parameter should be super. Okay, I'm trying to print output from console.log and I have created parent component as well. In the parent component we are including the child component. Okay, so in the parent components also we have written the same thing, but we change the message. Okay, but if you can execute this program, right, so the first output will come from, right, so parent. Yes, I'm in parent component because the flow is from parent to child, right. So later on, right, so we'll able to see the output from child component. Okay, so now, okay, so let me go to the Visual Studio, right. So now what I'll do is I'll write a constructor in the child component. Okay. So let me write a constructor. Okay. I'm writing the super. So this should be the first param. Right. Console dot log. Yes. I'm putting some message. Yes, I'm in child constructor. Okay. So let me push this code to the source org. So after that, what I'll do is I'll include the child component in the parent component. Okay. So okay, so it is getting loaded. Yeah, we are successfully able to deploy the code to the source org. Now what I'll do is in the parent component, I'll include the child component. Okay. So see, okay, and what was the child component name? Child component 4. Okay. So in the parent component, what I'll be doing is I'll be also writing the same I'll be writing the constructor and the super. Okay. So I'll be putting the console.log. Okay. Yes, I'm an parent constructor. Okay. So let me push this code to the source org. Now, if you can, if you load the application, now we should able to see, right? So parent constructor will get called first, and after that, the child component will constructor will get called because the flow is from, right. So parent to child. Okay. Okay. So it's getting loaded. Okay. We are successfully able to deploy the code to the source arc. Let me go back to the, let me reload this application. Okay. See here. First, the message is coming from the parent, right? And the next, the child constructor is getting executed, right? So the flow is from parent to child. Okay. So now, next, what we'll do is we'll try to see, can we define a variable in the constructor? Yes, we can define a variable. Okay. So this is a parent component, right? So now what I'll do is, okay. So, okay, let me import API. Okay. So now, okay. So we'll try to, set the value from the in the constructor itself. Okay. So now what I'll do is, okay, let me put, okay, so I just want to set some value to it. Okay. So Brahmanaidu Mandala. Okay. Let me put console.log, console.log values. Okay. So let me put this dot name. Okay. Okay. So let me deploy this code to the source arc. Okay. So yeah. So it is loading. Okay. So we are successfully able to deploy the code to the source arc. Right. So let me reload this application. Okay. So right. Yes, I'm in parent constructor. After that, the value is coming undefined because, right. So right. So it is a API property. It is a public property, right? If we will not able to, right, we will not able to get the value. If you declare a variable as API property, right, we will not able to access the value in the constructor. Now what I'll do is, instead of API, right, so I'll I'll make the use of track. Okay. So let me remove API. Okay. So let me push this code to the source arc. Now we should able to see the value, right? Because API property, public property won't work in the constructor, right? If you want to access the value of a variable, then the variable should be declared as a track. Otherwise, we won't able to access the value. So it will display something like undefined. Okay, so let me reload this application. Okay, see here, value is coming, right? So we have used property. That's the reason, yeah. So the value is coming. If you can go with, API property, we'll not able to access the value, right? So yeah, we are able to set the value as well in the constructor, right? Can we access the elements in the constructor? No. When you try to do that, you will get an error. Okay, so now what I'll do is, okay, so let me create an input in the parent component. So lightning input type equal to text. Okay, so label equal to account. Okay, so label name and the class equal to ACC name. Okay, so let me provide some default value equal to Brahmanide. Okay, so now what I'll do is, I'll try to access the input value. Okay, I'll try to access the default value, right? So now let me go to the parent controller, right? So now what I'll do is, okay, let me declare a variable track. Okay, so ACC name. Okay, so if you want to refer to that variable, then we have to make the use of this dot ACC name equal to, right? So I want to get the value template dot query selector, right? So what was the class name in the parent component? ACC name. I'm trying to get the value of the input, right? So ACC name dot value. Okay, so let me put the console.log as well. Input val equal to this dot ACC name. Okay, so let me push this code to the source arc. Okay, so it is loading. It is getting loaded. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so let me go back to the developer console. Let me reload this application. Okay, see here, we are not able to, so we are getting an error because we are not able to access the value, right? We are not able to access the property value. That's the reason we are getting an error. Okay, so now what I'll do is, okay, so I'll try to write one more constructor in the parent component. Let's see whether it is allowed or not. Okay, so constructor, okay, see here, we are getting an error, duplicate constructor in the same class. We are not able to write more than one constructor in the JavaScript. Only one constructor is allowed in Lightning Web Components. Okay, so let me go to the slide, right? So we will not able to access the value. We will able to set the value. Can we set the value in the constructor? Yes, we can able to set the value, right? So, okay, so can we able to access the value in the constructor? Yes, if it is declared, if the variable is declared as track property, then only we'll able to access the value. If it is declared as a public, then we won't able to access the data. Okay, so moving on to other slide. Okay, so we have already discussed this. Go to other slide. Okay, so this is a program which we have seen right now. Okay, so moving on to other callback. So we have callback, right? So the constructor will be executed first. After that, the connected callback will get executed. So it is called whenever the component is inserted into the DOM. Okay, this flow also same as constructor. It flows from parent to child. Okay, so it will be fired more than once. Okay, so let me remove the constructor. Okay, so okay, let it be. Okay, so let me put the console.log as well. Yes, I want to show you the order of execution. Yes, I'm an parent constructor. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll write a connected callback. Okay, so let me put console.log. Okay, yes, I'm an parent connected callback. Okay, so let me deploy this code to the source R. Okay, so in the child component also, I'll write the connected callback. May write connected callback in the child component as well. Okay, so let me put console.log. Yes, I'm in child component, child component connected. Yes, I'm in child connected callback. Okay, so let me push this code to the source arc. Okay, so now first statement would be yes, I'm in parent constructor. After constructor, the connected callback will get executed. Okay, so yeah, it is getting loaded. Right, we are successfully able to deploy the code to the source arc. Now what I'll do is let me reload this application since we made some changes to application. Right, so see what is happening. Yes, I'm in parent constructor. After that, the callback, connected callback is getting executed. After that, the child component constructed, and after that, the connected callback. Okay, yeah, that's it. And can we set a value to the parameter? Okay, so let me. Can we create a connected callbacks? Can we create a multiple connected callbacks? Yes, we can create it. Okay, so how we can do that? Okay, so now what I'll do is, okay, so in the parent component, right? So we are setting the default value, right? So the value equal to Brahman ID, right? So now what I'll do is, okay, so I'll create one variable, so blog name, okay, okay. So now this dot, I'm setting the value, right? Setting the value is possible in the in the connected callback. Okay, so this dot blog name equal to Salesforce by Brahman ID. Okay, so now what I'll do is, okay, so I'll write one more connector callback. Okay, let's see what happens. Connector callback. Okay, so now I'm trying to put different value, SFDC scenarios. Okay, so let me put this value to the input. Okay, so instead of static value. Okay, so let me deploy this code to the source. Or what happens when you execute this code, right? So the value will get overridden. Okay, so the first value will be Salesforce by Brahmanide, but since we have written more than one connected callback, right? So the final result would be SFDC scenarios. Okay, so let me deploy this code to the source. Or okay, so it is getting loaded. Okay, so let me reload this application. Now we should able to see SFDC scenarios input field because we have written more than one connected callback, right? So the block name obviously SFDC scenarios because the value is getting overwritten, right? In the first callback, in the first connected callback, we are setting Salesforce by Brahmanide, but this value will get overwritten because we have written more than one connected callback. Okay, so the flow is from same as a constructor. It is from parent to child. It means that whatever the whatever the block whatever the block you will put in the parent component, right? That will be executed first. Later on, right? So the child component connected callback will be executed. It is pretty much similar to the constructor. Okay, so let me go to the slide. Okay, so yes, does it throw any error if you create multiple connected callbacks? No, it won't. Okay, so can we load the data in the connector callback? Yes. Can we set the properties in the connector callback? Yes. Can we dispatch the custom event in the connector callback? Yes, we can able to do that. Okay. Okay. So moving on to other callback. So disconnected callback. So it is called whenever the component is removed from the element. Okay. So the flow is from parent to child. Okay. So moving on to other callback. Okay. A render. Okay, so the call this method to update the user interface. Okay, so it may be called before after connected callback. It is used to conditionally render a template. Okay, so right, so in this scenario what we will do is, right, so we'll create one main component, right? So we will try to render the template based on the condition. Okay, so let me create main template. Okay, so let me create it. Okay, so main template. So in the render, what we'll be doing is we'll be just you know rendering the template based on the condition, right? So in this scenario, by default, I'm showing, right? So second template. Okay, so this is the first template and this is the second template. If you can execute this program, the output will come from the second template. Since by default we are setting it to true, right? So the output will be from the second components. Okay, so right, so this is a main template. So in this template, okay, so before that, let me create two templates here in the main template. Okay, so let me create a new file. Okay, custom, so template 3.html. Okay, okay, so what I'll be doing is, so template is a mandatory thing. Okay, so here let me put some message. Yes, I am in. Yes, I am in third template. Let me save it. Okay, so let me create one more template in the main template. Okay, so template 4.html. Okay, templates. Okay, yes, I am in fourth template. Okay, so yeah, so now what I'll do is, okay, so let me deploy template 3 and template 4. Okay, so let me deploy this code to the source arc. Let me do it for template 3 as well. So after this, what we'll do is we'll try to import this template 3 and template 4 in the main template. And then we will try to render the template, right, based on the condition. So let me push template 4 as well. Okay, so we are successfully able to deploy the code to the source arc. In the main template, what I'll do is I'll try to import template 3 and template 4, and then we'll try to show the template based on the logic. Okay, so now we have already written the code and the PPT. So now what I'll do is, okay, so let me import the template. Okay, so what was the template name? So template 3. Okay, so let me copy it. Let me import one more template 4. Okay, and then template 4 dot html. Okay, so now let me copy it from PPT. Now what I'll do is, okay, so by default, I'll be rendering. So whenever you load a page, right? So by default, we'll be rendering template 3 instead of 2, right? So here, let me put 3. Let me change 3 and 4. Okay. So let me deploy this code to the source arc. Okay. So I have created a main component. In a main component, I have created two templates, template 3 and template 4. In the template 3, I just put some simple message. Yes, I'm in third template. In the template 4, right, I just added simple message. Yes, I'm in the fourth template. In the main template, what I'm doing is by default, right? So I'm setting it to template equal to true so that whenever your user loads a page, then we should able to render the third template. Okay, so let me reload this application. Now when I reload this application, we should able to see the output from the third component because we are setting it to true. Let me reload this application. Now we should able to see the output from why the output is not coming up. Okay, so I think we have done some mistake. Template 3 and template 4. This is fine. Okay, so template 3 also fine. Okay, so I think there might be some spelling mistake. So this is same only. Okay, so let me check what is the issue. Template 3. This is also fine. Okay, so let me deploy this code to the source chart. Okay, so now let me reload the application. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. So the code is correct, but the thing is, in the Lightning application, we have to include. Okay, so let me go to this app. Let me click on application. So we have to include the main templates. Okay, so what is the name? The main template. Okay, so let me copy it from JavaScript. Okay, so let me change it to lowercase letter. Okay, so let me reload this. Let me reload this application. Now we should be able to see the output from the thought templates. Okay, so yes, I'm in thought templates, right? So now what I'll do is I'll make some changes to the JavaScript. Okay, so in the main templates, right? Instead of template 3, I'll be just changing it to 4. Okay, so now let me deploy this code to the source code. So basically in this render, what we'll be doing is we'll be just rendering the template, right? Based on the business requirements. Now we should be able to see the output from template 4 because we set it to true, right? So the template 4 will get executed. Let me reload this application. Yes, I'm in fourth template. Okay. So moving on to rendered callback. Okay. So right, it is used to perform the logic after the component has finished the rendering phase. Okay, so the hook flows from child to parent. Okay, so the constructor and the connected callback, and so constructor and connected callback, right? So this will be the flow is from parent to child. First, the content will be loaded from the parent, and it will be loaded from after that it will be loaded from child, right? But whereas, right, in the render callback, the flow is from child to parent. Okay. Okay. So let me explain this example. Okay. So, okay. So, right. So in this example, right. So what we'll be doing is I've created a button. On clicking of a button, we're going to set a value, right? So first, right? So render callback will be executed, right? So so basically what we'll be doing is, right? So first let me write this code. We'll be just setting the value. Once the user clicks on a button, then we'll be just setting the value. Okay, so let me write the rendered callback. let me go to the parent component. Okay, so let me change here. Okay, so now what I'll be doing is, right? So this is render callback, right? So render callback, and this render callback, what we'll be doing is we'll be just updating the value. Okay, so let me go to parent HTML. We'll be creating a button, right? So once the user clicks on a button, we are going to update the value. So lightning button, a label equal to variant. Okay, sorry, button label equal to some button name, and the variant equal to brand, right? So on clicking of this, we are going to update the value until click. Okay, so let me write this method in the parent component. Handle click. Okay, so let me create a variable. Okay, so okay, so we have already created a variable blog name. So let me make the use of it in the rendered callback. Okay, in the handle click, once the user clicks on a button, then we are going to set the value. Okay, so the blog name is SFDC scenarios. Okay, in the rendered callback also, right? So I'll in the rendered callback, I'll be setting some different value. Yes. Okay, so rendered callback a value. Okay, so let me print this value in the parent components. Okay, so okay, let me push this parent component to the source arc. Let's see what would be the output of this. Okay, so let me reload this application since we made some changes to the components. Okay, so let me check. Okay, so let me save it. Let me click on preview. Okay, so render callback value. Let me click on this. We are not able to update the value. Why? Because of, right? So we have to put the condition, right? If you don't put the condition, right? So basically we have to make the use of a Boolean property, right? So when it is rendered, so basically we have to set it to true, right? So after that, what we have to do, once it is entered into block, then basically we have to set it to false. Then only it will get executed. Otherwise, it won't show the output in the Salesforce UI, right? So basically we have to create a Boolean property, right? So we have to set it to true, right? So once it entered, right, into the callback, this will be, we just want to make sure that it will get executed only once. I don't want to execute the callback whenever I click on a button, right? So that's the reason we are not able to, display the value. So now what I'll do is I'll declare a variable. Okay, so let me go back to the visual. Okay, okay, and in the render callback, right, and it is this dot, what was the name, has render, right? This dot has render. Okay, if it is equal to true, then we'll be executing this. Okay, so it will get executed only one time, right? So now what I'll be doing is, after executing this, I'll be just setting it to false. Okay, so let me reload this application. Okay, now we should able to see the updated value whenever we click on a button, right? So then we should able to see the updated value. If we don't add this condition, again this render callback will execute it, then we will not able to see the updated value. So basically we have to add the condition, right? So first we will be setting it to true, right? Once it entered into the block, then we'll be just setting it to false, right? So then only we'll able to show the value in the UI. So let me reload this application. So initially the value is coming from the callback. So the rendered callback already got executed, right? So the value is coming up. Now, if I click on show, we should be able to update the value because we haven't added the condition, right? That's the reason it is happening. Let me moving, let me go back to let me play another slide. A rendered callback executed even though when you click on a button. So it will not able to update the values. Okay. So still in the UI, but it will show the rendered callback value. To get rid of this, we need to make the user Boolean variable. We have already discussed about this, but I have written it. I'm just explaining one more time. Create a Boolean variable and assign the default value to true. Once it entered into the rendered callback, at the end of the method needs to set it to false, right? So that it won't load again. By using above methodology, we'll able to refresh the value in the UI. That's it. Moving on to other slide. So this is a last callback in the Lightning Web Components. So basically, it is called whenever the component throws an error in any of callback methods. Okay. So error is basically it's a JavaScript object. Stack is nothing but it is just a string. Okay, so let me explain this callbacks one more time. Okay, constructor. Okay, so the constructor, okay, so when it will be executed, whenever the component instance is created, right? So the flow is from parent to child. It means that, right? Let's say you have created two components. One is parent component and other is child component, right? So whatever the statements you write in the parent component constructor, that will be get executed first, and after that the child component constructor will get executed. Okay, so can we define a variable? Yes, we can do that. Can we set the value in the constructor? Yes, we can able to set the value, but if the variable is declared as a track property, then only we'll able to set the value, right? If the variable is declared as a API property, then we'll not able to we'll not able to access the value, we'll not able to set the value because it doesn't allow public properties. Can we access the elements in the constructor? No, we'll not able to do that. When you try to do when you try to do that, you'll get an error. Okay, so can we load the data in the constructor? Yes, we can do that. Can we create a disperse? No, we're not able to do that. Can we create a multiple constructor? No, we know. So we're not able to create multiple constructor. If you try to do that, it will display an error like duplicate constructor, something like that. Okay, so let me quickly explain connected callback, right? It will It is called whenever the component is inserted in your DOM. So the flow is same as a constructor from parent to child. It will be fired more than once. In a connected callback, we can able to set the values. Okay. After the constructor, right, the connector callback will get executed. Okay. So in the connected callback, right, so we'll able to write multiple connected callbacks. Okay. But the thing is, the value will be overwritten. We won't get any error. Okay. So let moving on to the slide. Okay, so basically, this is a disconnected callback. It is called when the component is removed from the element. So this flow is from parent to child. Okay, so render, if we want to render the template based on the condition, right? So we'll be using render. Okay, so basically it is used to upgrade the user interface. It may be called before or after the connected callback, right? So in this example, I just imported, I've created two templates. One is template one and the template two. In the template one, what I did is I just put some simple message. Yes, I'm in first template. In the second template, I just put some simple message in the second template as well, right? So I just imported template one and template two in the JavaScript, and then so we are just rendering the template. We are just setting it to true, right? so that the template 2 will get executed. Let's say if I'm setting it template 1 equal to true, then the template 1 will get executed. Okay, so moving on to render callback. Okay, so it is used to perform the logic when the component finish the rendering phase. So this is flow from child to parent. It's not like constructor and the connector callback uh, flow. Okay, the flow is from child to parent. It is different when compared to constructor and the connector callback and disconnector callback. Okay, okay, so right. So in this scenario, I just created a button. On clicking of a button, we are trying to update the value, right? So basically, when you click on a button, also this render callback will get executed. So in order to get rid of that, right? So basically, we have to create a boolean property, and we'll be just setting it to true, right? Once it is rendered, right? So we'll be just setting it to false, so that it will get executed only once. Error callback. So basically, if something goes wrong in the callback, then we will able to, catch the error, right? So we'll able to, catch the error in this error callback. And basically this error is a JavaScript object and the stack is nothing but it's a string. Okay, I just want to explain one more thing. Okay. So this is aura init method was connected callback. Okay. So what happens, which method will get called first? So I in JavaScript I have connected callback, and the init method in the component I have init method, right? So when which one will get executed first, right? So aura component init method will get executed first, right? So let me explain this code. Okay, so this is as HTML file, right? So I have written a callback, right? I'm just trying to print some simple message, yes I'm in connector callback, right? So I have created, right? So one component. So the name of the component is demo, right? In this component, I have included HTML file, right? LWC component. I have read, I have created handler, right? So basically, when you load a page, it will get executed, right? So I have written a do init method, right? So I'm trying to print some message. Yes, I'm in the init method, right? So if you can execute this program, yes. So aura component, right? So do init method will get called first, and after that, the connector callback will get executed first, right? So thank you all. If you like the content in my channel, right? So please subscribe to this channel and share it to your friends so that it would be very helpful to them. Thank you all.